Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, Gajpal A Learning. In this video we are going to see some practice questions based on the topic cellular level of organization. So let's start. Question 1. Which cellular structure is responsible for providing structural support and regulating the transport of materials within the cell? A. Nucleus. B. Endoplasmic reticulum. C. Golgi apparatus. D. Mitochondria. Answer. B. Endoplasmic reticulum. Explanation. The endoplasmic reticulum is a network of membranes involved in protein synthesis and lipid metabolism, and it helps transport materials within the cell. Question 2. What is the primary function of the cell membrane? A. DNA replication. B. Cellular respiration. C. Regulating transport in and out of the cell. D. Synthesizing proteins. Answer. C. Regulating transport in and out of the cell. Explanation. The cell membrane controls the movement of substances into and out of the cell, maintaining cellular homeostasis. Question 3. Which cell organelle is responsible for energy production through aerobic respiration? A. Lysosome. B. Chloroplast. C. Mitochondria. D. Ribosome. Answer. C. Mitochondria. Explanation. Mitochondria are known as the powerhouses of the cell as they generate ATP, the cell's energy currency, through aerobic respiration. Question 4. During which phase of the cell cycle does DNA replication occur? A. G1 phase. B. G2 phase. C. S phase. D. M phase. Answer. C. S phase. Explanation. DNA replication takes place during the S synthesis phase of the cell cycle. Question 5. Which type of cell junction allows direct communication and transport of ions and molecules between adjacent cells? A. Tight junctions. B. Desmosomes. C. Gap junctions. D. Adherence junctions. Answer. C. Gap junctions. Explanation. Gap junctions are specialized channels that enable direct communication and exchange of small molecules and ions between neighboring cells. Question 6. What is the main function of a ligand in cell communication? A. Catalyzing chemical reactions. B. Binding to receptors on the cell surface. C. Breaking down cellular waste. D. Providing structural support to the cell. Answer. B. Binding to receptors on the cell surface. Explanation. Ligands are signaling molecules that bind to specific receptors on the cell surface to initiate a cellular response. Question 7. In intracellular signaling, what is the role of second messengers? A. Transmit signals between cells. B. Activate extracellular signal molecules. C. Amplify and relay intracellular signals. D. Regulate cell division. Answer. C. Amplify and relay intracellular signals. Explanation. Second messengers, such as CAMP or Ca2+, amplify and transmit signals from cell surface receptors to specific intracellular targets, regulating various cellular processes. Question 8. Which form of intracellular signaling involves direct cell-to-cell contact for signaling? A. Paracrine. B. Synaptic. C. Contact-dependent. D. Endocrine. Answer. C. Contact-dependent. Explanation. Contact-dependent signaling occurs when cell surface molecules on one cell interact with receptors on an adjacent cell to transmit signals. Question 9. Neurotransmitters are examples of which form of intracellular signaling? A. Paracrine. B. Synaptic. C. Contact-dependent. D. Endocrine. Answer. B. Synaptic. Explanation. Synaptic signaling involves the release of neurotransmitters at synapses, allowing communication between nerve cells. Question 10. Which type of intracellular signaling is characterized by signaling molecules traveling through the bloodstream to reach distant target cells? A. Paracrine. B. Synaptic. C. Contact-dependent. D. Endocrine. Answer. D. Endocrine. Explanation. Endocrine signaling involves hormones being secreted into the bloodstream and acting on target cells at distant locations in the body. Question 11. The genetic material of the cell is found in which cellular organelle? A. Endoplasmic reticulum. B. Mitochondria. C. Nucleus. D. Lysosome. Answer. C. Nucleus. Explanation. The nucleus contains the cell's genetic material, including DNA, which controls cellular activities and hereditary traits. Question 12. Which of the following is responsible for the synthesis of proteins within the cell? A. Golgi apparatus. B. Mitochondria. C. Lysosome. D. Ribosome. Answer. D. Ribosome. Explanation. Ribosomes are the cellular machinery responsible for protein synthesis using the genetic information encoded in RNA. Question 13. The cell membrane is primarily composed of A. Proteins. B. Carbohydrates. C. Lipids. D. Nucleic acids. Answer. C. Lipids. Explanation. The cell membrane is a lipid bilayer composed of phospholipids, which form the basic structural framework. Question 14. Which type of cellular transport requires energy to move molecules against their concentration gradient? A. Passive diffusion. B. Facilitated diffusion. C. Active transport. D. Osmosis. Answer. C. Active transport. Explanation. Active transport moves molecules or ions against their concentration gradient, requiring energy in the form of ATP. Question 15. Which cellular process is responsible for the division of the cytoplasm into two daughter cells? A. Mitosis. B. Meiosis. C. Cytokinesis. D. Interphase. Answer. C. Cytokinesis. Explanation. Cytokinesis is the final stage of the cell cycle when the cytoplasm is divided, resulting in the formation of two daughter cells. Question 16. During which phase of mitosis do sister chromatids separate and move towards opposite poles of the cell? A. Prophase. B. Metaphase. C. Anaphase. D. Telophase. Answer. C. Anaphase. Explanation. Anaphase is the phase of mitosis where sister chromatids are pulled apart and move to opposite ends of the cell. Question 17. Which type of cell junction forms a strong physical connection between cells, providing mechanical strength to tissues? A. Tight junctions. B. Desmosomes. C. Gap junctions. D. Adherence junctions. Answer. B. Desmosomes. Explanation. Desmosomes are cell junctions that anchor cells together, providing mechanical support to tissues exposed to mechanical stress. Question 18. What is the primary function of receptor proteins in cell signaling? A. Breaking down extracellular signal molecules. B. Transmitting signals between cells. C. Binding to ligands and initiating cellular responses. D. Regulating cell division. Answer. C. Binding to ligands and initiating cellular responses. Explanation. Receptor proteins on the cell surface or within the cell bind to specific ligands and initiate intracellular signaling cascades, leading to cellular responses. Question 19. Which second messenger is commonly produced as a result of the activation of G-protein coupled receptors? A. CAMP, cyclic adenosine monophosphate. B. CGM, cyclic guanosine monophosphate. C. IP3, inositol trisphosphate. D. DAG, diacylglycerol. Answer. A. CAMP, cyclic adenosine monophosphate. Explanation. Activation of G-protein coupled receptors often leads to the production of CAMP as a second messenger. Question 20. Which form of intracellular signaling involves the release of signaling molecules into the extracellular fluid to affect nearby target cells? A. Paracrine. B. Synaptic. C. Contact dependent. D. Endocrine. Answer. A. Paracrine. Explanation. Paracrine signaling involves local signaling, where cells release signaling molecules that affect nearby target cells. Question 21. Which cellular structure contains the instructions for protein synthesis in the form of mRNA? A. Nucleus. B. Golgi apparatus. C. Mitochondria. D. Lysosome. Answer. A. Nucleus. Explanation. The nucleus houses the genetic material, DNA, that is transcribed into mRNA, which carries the instructions for protein synthesis. Question 22. Which organelle is responsible for the synthesis, modification, and packaging of proteins for export from the cell? A. Endoplasmic reticulum. B. Mitochondria. C. Golgi apparatus. D. Ribosome. Answer. C. Golgi apparatus. Explanation. The Golgi apparatus processes and modifies proteins and lipids, preparing them for export or use within the cell. Question 23. Which type of cellular transport involves the movement of water across a semipermeable membrane? A. Passive diffusion. B. Facilitated diffusion. C. Active transport. D. Osmosis. Answer. D. Osmosis. Explanation. Osmosis is the movement of water molecules across a semipermeable membrane from an area of lower solute concentration to an area of higher solute concentration. Question 24. The process of cell division in somatic cells is known as A. Meiosis. B. Mitosis. C. Cytokinesis. D. Interphase. Answer. B. Mitosis. Explanation. Mitosis is the process by which somatic cells divide, producing two genetically identical daughter cells. Question 25. During which phase of mitosis do the chromosomes condense and become visible under a microscope? A. Prophase. B. Metaphase. C. Anaphase. D. Telophase. Answer. A. Prophase. Explanation. Prophase is the first phase of mitosis, during which chromatin condenses into visible chromosomes. Question 26. Which type of cell junction forms a waterproof barrier between cells, preventing the leakage of fluids? A. Tight junctions. B. Desmosomes. C. Gap junctions. D. Adherence junctions. Answer. A. Tight junctions. Explanation: tight junctions create a tight seal between adjacent cells, preventing the movement of substances between them. Question 27. Which of the following is a downstream event in cell signaling? A. Ligand binding to receptor. B. Activation of second messenger. C. Cellular response. D. Receptor internalization. Answer: C. Cellular response. Explanation: a cellular response is the final outcome of a signaling pathway activated by ligand binding and second messenger activation. Question 28. Which second messenger is released in response to the cleavage of phosphatidylinosytol 4,5-bisphosphate (PIP2) by phospholipase C? A. CAMP cyclic adenosine monophosphate. B. CGM cyclic guanosine monophosphate. C. IP3 inositol trisphosphate. D. DAG diacylglycerol. Answer: C. IP3 inositol trisphosphate. Explanation: phospholipase C cleaves PIP2 into IP3 and DAG, with IP3 acting as a second messenger. Question 29. Which form of intracellular signaling involves signaling molecules acting on the same cell that release them? A. Paracrine. B. Synaptic. C. Contact dependent. D. Autocrine. Answer: D. Autocrine. Explanation: autocrine signaling occurs when a cell responds to signaling molecules it produces itself. Question 30. Which cellular organelle is responsible for the synthesis of ribosomes? A. Nucleus. B. Endoplasmic reticulum. C. Golgi apparatus. D. Nucleolus. Answer: D. Nucleolus. Explanation: the nucleolus is a region within the nucleus where ribosomal RNA (NA) is synthesized and ribosomes are assembled. Question 31. Which type of cellular transport does not require the use of energy and relies on the concentration gradient to move molecules? A. Passive diffusion. B. Facilitated diffusion. C. Active transport. D. Osmosis. Answer: a passive diffusion. Explanation: passive diffusion is the movement of molecules from an area of higher concentration to an area of lower concentration without the use of energy. Question 32. During which phase of the cell cycle does the cell prepare for division, and cell organelles are duplicated? A. G1 phase. B. G2 phase. C. S phase. D. M phase. Answer: B. G2 phase. Explanation: the G2 phase is the second gap phase where the cell prepares for mitosis and duplicates its organelles. Question 33. Which type of cellular junction provides resistance to mechanical stress and anchors cells to the extracellular matrix? A. Tight junctions. B. Desmosomes. C. Gap junctions. D. Adherence junctions. Answer: D. Adherence junctions. Explanation: adherence junctions connect the actin cytoskeletons of adjacent cells, providing structural support and adhesion. Question 34. Which cellular process is initiated when a ligand binds to a receptor on the cell surface? A. Protein synthesis. B. Signal transduction. C. DNA replication. D. Cytokinesis. Answer: B. Signal transduction. Explanation: signal transduction is the process by which extracellular signals are converted into intracellular responses upon ligand binding to receptors. Question 35. Which second messenger is commonly produced as a result of the activation of receptor tyrosine kinases? A. CAMP cyclic adenosine monophosphate. B. CGM cyclic guanosine monophosphate. C. IP3 inositol trisphosphate. D. DAG diacylglycerol. Answer: D. DAG diacylglycerol. Explanation: receptor tyrosine kinases often activate phospholipase C, leading to the production of DAG as a second messenger. Question 36. Which form of intracellular signaling involves signaling molecules diffusing across the synaptic cleft to affect target cells? A. Paracrine. B. Synaptic. C. Contact dependent. D. Endocrine. Answer: B. Synaptic. Explanation: synaptic signaling occurs at specialized junctions called synapses, where neurotransmitters diffuse across the synaptic cleft to influence target cells. Question 37. Which cellular structure contains the nucleolus and is surrounded by a double membrane with nuclear pores? A. Endoplasmic reticulum. B. Mitochondria. C. Nucleus. D. Lysosome. Answer: C. Nucleus. Explanation: the nucleus contains the nucleolus, surrounded by a double membrane with nuclear pores that regulate the movement of molecules in and out of the nucleus. Question 38. Which organelle is responsible for the production of ATP through oxidative phosphorylation? A. Endoplasmic reticulum. B. Chloroplast. C. Mitochondria. D. Ribosome. Answer: C. Mitochondria. Explanation: mitochondria produce ATP through oxidative phosphorylation, a process that occurs in the inner mitochondrial membrane. Question 39. Which type of cellular transport uses membrane proteins to facilitate the movement of specific molecules across the cell membrane? A. Passive diffusion. B. Facilitated diffusion. C. Active transport. D. Osmosis. Answer. B. Facilitated diffusion. Explanation. Facilitated diffusion relies on specific membrane proteins to transport molecules across the membrane along their concentration gradient. Question 40. During which phase of mitosis do the chromosomes align at the cell's equatorial plane? A. Prophase. B. Metaphase. C. Anaphase. D. Telophase. Answer. B. Metaphase. Explanation. Metaphase is the phase of mitosis where the chromosomes align along the equatorial plane, the metaphase plate, of the cell. Question 41. Which cellular junction forms a strong physical connection between cells in tissues subjected to mechanical stress, such as the skin? A. Tight junctions. B. Desmosomes. C. Gap junctions. D. Adherence junctions. Answer. B. Desmosomes. Explanation. Desmosomes anchor cells together, providing mechanical strength to tissues exposed to mechanical stress. Question 42. Which component of a signal transduction pathway directly regulates the cellular response to a signaling molecule? A. Receptor proteins. B. Second messengers. C. Extracellular ligands. D. G proteins. Answer. B. Second messengers. Explanation. Second messengers are key intermediates in signal transduction pathways that regulate the cellular response to a signaling molecule. Question 43. Which second messenger is produced as a result of the activation of adenylate cyclase? A. CAMP, cyclic adenosine monophosphate. B. CGMP, cyclic guanosine monophosphate. C. IP3, inositol trifosphate. D. DAG, diacylglycerol. Answer. A. CAMP, cyclic adenosine monophosphate. Explanation. Adenylate cyclase converts ATP into CAMP, which acts as a second messenger in many signaling pathways. Question 44. Which form of intracellular signaling involves signaling molecules diffusing through the bloodstream to affect distant target cells? A. Paracrine. B. Synaptic. C. Contact dependent. D. Endocrine. Answer. D. Endocrine. Explanation. Endocrine signaling involves hormones being released into the bloodstream and acting on target cells in different tissues or organs. Question 45. The genetic material of the cell is located in which part of the cell during cell division? A. Nucleolus. B. Chromatin. C. Chromosomes. D. Cytoplasm. Answer. C. Chromosomes. Explanation. During cell division, the genetic material condenses into visible chromosomes, each consisting of tightly coiled chromatin. Question 46. Which organelle is responsible for the synthesis of lipids and detoxification of harmful substances in the cell? A. Endoplasmic reticulum. B. Mitochondria. C. Golgi apparatus. D. Ribosome. Answer. A. Endoplasmic reticulum. Explanation. The endoplasmic reticulum has two types, smoother involved in lipid synthesis and detoxification and rougher involved in protein synthesis. Question 47. Which type of cellular transport requires the input of energy to move molecules against their concentration gradient? A. Passive diffusion. B. Facilitated diffusion. C. Active transport. D. Osmosis. Answer. C. Active transport. Explanation. Active transport moves molecules against their concentration gradient and requires energy, typically in the form of ATP. Question 48. During which phase of the cell cycle does the cell divide its genetic material and form two identical sister chromatids? A. G1 phase. B. G2 phase. C. S phase. D. M phase. Answer. C. S phase. Explanation. During the S phase of the cell cycle, DNA replication occurs, and each chromosome is duplicated, forming two identical sister chromatids. Question 49. Which type of cell junction allows communication and exchange of small molecules and ions between adjacent cells? A. Tight junctions. B. Desmosomes. C. Gap junctions. D. Adherence junctions. Answer. C. Gap junctions. Explanation. Gap junctions are channels that permit direct communication and transfer of small molecules and ions between adjacent cells. Question 50. Which process is triggered when a ligand binds to its receptor, leading to a series of biochemical events inside the cell? A. DNA replication. B. Cell division. C. Signal transduction. D. Protein synthesis. Answer. C. Signal transduction. Explanation. Signal transduction is the process of converting an extracellular signal, ligand binding, into a specific cellular response inside the cell. Thanks for watching this video.